In a world cluttered with information, where truth is power, Lawin Weekly News stands apart.
We delve deeper, uncover facts, and bring stories to light. From political showdowns and economic triumphs to the pulse of the street and the heart of the community.
We capture the moments that define us, stories that challenge, inspire, and transform.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
These are Lawin headlines for this week. Texas Senate debates financial aid for undocumented college students. Houston Housing Authority warns 18,000 plus to re-register or lose voucher spot. Dallas record store owner, paralyzed in fall, dies weeks later, family shares. Small businesses seek relief from Trump's sweeping tariffs. Consul General Sales honors veterans at Harahan Memorial dedication. Gilbert Arenas' son Elijah fights for life after LA car crash. Hard-fought AVC, PVL campaigns leave Creamline wiser. Camille Pratt's hopes for future projects with Miss Mention Jean Garcia.
I am Neska.
And I am MJ.
And tonight we bring you the latest stories in the United States of America.
And in the great state of Texas.
So sit back, relax, and let Lawin Weekly News be your guide to the news that matters most. Texas hospitals have spent millions of dollars providing medical care to non-U.S. citizens, according to new data released Monday by the Texas Health and Human Services Commissioner HHSC. The report follows an executive order issued by Governor Greg Abbott requiring hospitals to collect immigration status data from patients. The data gathered as part of the governor's directive reveals the financial strain hospitals face when delivering healthcare services to tens of thousands of individuals who are not U.S. citizens. On Monday, a state employee testified before lawmakers about the burden placed on healthcare facilities. Governor Abbott's executive order signed last year mandates hospitals to report patients' immigration status to better understand the financial impact of providing care to uninsured, undocumented individuals. Texas consistently ranks among the states with the highest percentage of individuals lacking health insurance, contributing to increased unreimbursed hospital expenses.
The Texas Senate is considering Senate Bill 1798, authored by State Senator Mace Middleton, which would require students without legal status, including DACA recipients, to pay out-of-state tuition rates at Texas colleges and universities. The bill amends the Texas DREAM Act, which currently allows these students to qualify for in-state tuition and financial aid. Supporters of the bill argue that state resources should be allocated to legal residents, while opponents, including former Texas Representative Rick Noriega, defend the DREAM Act as a means to provide opportunities for students who cannot afford college. The bill could increase tuition for students without legal status, which costs at institutions like Houston Community College and the University of Houston potentially rising substantially. This legislation is part of a broader debate as other similar bills are also being considered in Texas, such as House Bill 232 and Senate Bill 1205, which address issues related to the education of undocumented students.
The Housing Authority, or HHA, announced that over 18,000 individuals must re-register for housing vouchers through a new portal from May 1 to June 2, or risk removal from the waiting list. The HHA will communicate this requirement to affected applicants via email and offer assistance at its office. This re-registration aims to update applicant information to ensure proper management of the housing choice vouchers. Concerns have emerged about the process's accessibility for vulnerable households. The current wait list for new applicants remains closed. However, the Housing or Houston Housing Authority will open separate wait lists for project-based vouchers from May 1 to May 16. Rising rent prices and insufficient federal funding have significantly impacted the availability and effectiveness of the Housing Choice Vouchers program.
The Texas Senate is currently reviewing Senate Bill 2225, a legislative proposal that aims to permit the sale of spirit-based, ready-to-drink cocktails in grocery and convenience stores across the state. The bill, introduced by Senator Kelly Hancock of Fort Worth, has already passed a committee vote and is now awaiting further deliberation by full Senate. These beverages, however, must contain no more than 17% alcohol by volume to qualify for sale in these outlets. If approved by the full Senate and signed into law, the new regulations would be enacted starting September 1st. Currently, Texas limits the sale of spirit-based RTDs to around 3,000 liquor stores across the state. Meanwhile, malt-based versions of these drinks are available in approximately 30,000 grocery and convenience stores. A survey has shown that 86% of consumers in Texas support the expansion of alcohol sales to include spirit-based RTDs in grocery and convenience stores. Senator Hancock has emphasized that the bill is designed to provide Texans with more choices while maintaining strict regulations to ensure responsible sales.
Hello po dyan sa mga taga-Texas. Nandyan po kami ni Desa sa June 14 at meron po kaming show sa Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center on June 14. So, nandyan po ang mga detalye below sa ating poster and I hope to see you soon, guys. See you sa June 14.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories, from elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits. I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
Georgetown police are investigating a crash on Interstate 35 that occurred on Wednesday involving a semi-truck and 8 other vehicles, which resulted in 3 people being hospitalized. The collision took place near the 257-mile marker on the southbound lanes before 7 a.m. The affected section of the highway remained closed until shortly before 2 p.m. According to a driver involved in the incident, the crash began when 2 cars sideswiped each other, leading to an 18-wheeler colliding with other vehicles. The specific vehicles that the injured individuals occupied have not been disclosed. Emergency services transported 2 people with serious injuries to the hospital. Georgetown police are actively investigating the cause of the crash.
A beloved figure in the Dallas community or music community has passed away after complications from a fall. Chris Penn, the owner of Good Records, died on Wednesday after sustaining injuries weeks earlier that left him paralyzed. The record store announced his death on social media on Thursday, mourning the loss of Penn and acknowledging his profound impact on the local music scene. Penn, who nurtured Good Records into a cherished cultural hub, was a passionate advocate for local talent and an integral part of Dallas' music community. The accident that led to his paralysis occurred when Penn fell while installing decals on the store's windows. Despite efforts to manage the injuries, he passed away due to complications from the fall. His wife, Jen Penn, confirmed his passing and expressed the deep sorrow felt by the family. Good Records is expected to continue operations in honor of Pen's vision and contributions to the music scene. Memorial arrangements and public tributes are yet to be announced.
Fiesta de los Reyes has introduced new security measures for its 2025 event following a shooting incident that occurred during last year's festival. The event held at San Antonio's historic Market Square aims to enhance safety for all attendees. Fiesta de los Reyes will implement a clear bag policy starting this year. Attendees must use bags no larger than 12 inches by 6 inches by 12 inches. Clear plastic, vinyl, or PVC bags will be allowed. Diaper bags are permitted but must be accompanied by a guardian with a child and should contain diaper changing items. All bags are subject to search upon entry. The new security measures come after an incident last year when a shooting broke out, resulting in the deaths of 2 men and injuries to 4 others. An 18-year-old suspect was fatally shot by officers. As part of the updated safety protocols, the San Antonio Police Department announced the installation of metal detectors. Additionally, there will be increased police presence throughout the event to ensure public safety. Fencing will surround Milam Park and Market Square. Security checkpoints will monitor the entrances and all visitors will have to pass through these areas to gain access to the event. Market Square will also see modifications in its operational hours on the final day of the event.
Luigi Mangione, a member of a prominent Maryland real estate family and an Ivy League graduate, pleaded not guilty in a Dallas courtroom this week to federal and state murder charges connected to the death of the CEO of United Healthcare. Authorities arrested Mangione last month following a joint investigation by federal and local law enforcement agencies. Federal prosecutors alleged the killing was premeditated and strategically planned, while state prosecutors filed similar first-degree murder charges. Evidence presented includes digital communications, financial records, and eyewitness testimony. Mangione's defense team maintains his innocence and has filed motions to suppress certain evidence they claim was improperly obtained. Attorneys argue that the case against their client is based on circumstantial evidence and lacks direct links to the crime. Judge Michelle Cutter, who is presiding over the case, has not yet set a trial date. Preliminary hearings are scheduled in the coming weeks to determine which evidence will be admissible during the trial. United Healthcare released a statement expressing grief over the loss of their CEO and requested privacy as investigations continue.
Small businesses across the United States are calling for exemptions from tariffs imposed during the Trump administration, citing growing financial pressure that many say is unsustainable. The call for relief has gained attention in Congress, with Senator Ed Markey highlighting the disproportionate impact of these trade policies on smaller enterprises. Speaking at a recent forum, Senator Markey emphasized that small businesses, often operating on narrow profit margins and with limited financial reserves, are particularly vulnerable to the added costs brought on by tariffs. The tariffs originally implemented to protect domestic industries have resulted in higher costs for imported goods, materials, and equipment. Small business owners in sectors ranging from retail to manufacturing report that they are being forced to raise prices, reevaluate supply chains, or in some cases, reduce staff.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. approved a project that aims to assist 750,000 food insecure households with electronic food vouchers. On Wednesday, the National Economic and Development Authority Board, chaired by President Marcos, sanctioned the Refuel project at their final meeting. The project, formerly known as Reducing Food Insecurity and Undernutrition with Electronic Vouchers, targets households that lack consistent access to adequate food. NEDA officials stated that the electronic food vouchers would provide specific food items necessary for nutrition. The voucher system intends to enhance food security and address malnutrition concerns in the affected communities. The Refuel project aligns with the government's commitment to reducing hunger and improving the nutritional status of vulnerable populations.
The United Nations issued a report on Monday revealing that transnational organized crime groups based in East and Southeast Asia are expanding their scam operations worldwide due to intensified crackdowns by authorities. These operations have been particularly active in Southeast Asia for several years. The report identifies Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and the Philippines as key locations where scam compounds have flourished, especially in border areas. Criminal groups have adapted by frequently moving their operations to evade police actions. The scam centers have deceived victims worldwide, extracting billions of dollars through fraudulent romantic schemes and fake investment opportunities.
Philippine Consul General Gunther Sales joined local officials and residents for the formal dedication of the City of Harahan's Veterans War Memorial, honoring 16 citizens who died in the military conflicts worldwide. Among them is Private Thomas Piconi, who perished in the Philippines during World War II and is interred at the Manila American Cemetery. The memorial pays tribute to the full service, and sacrifice of the city's fallen, including 7 individuals either buried overseas or lost at sea. During the ceremony, Consul General Sales highlighted the significance of Private Piconi's story as a symbol of the enduring camaraderie between the armed forces of the Philippines and the United States. While in Harahan, Consul General Sales also met with Piconi's family, Harahan Mayor Timothy Bodier, and Louisiana Lieutenant Governor Billy Nangazer. The dedication served as a moment of reflection on shared history, military service, and the bonds of international friendship.
Top basketball prospect and son of former NBA player Gilbert Arenas was critically injured in a car crash in Los Angeles and remains in a medically induced coma, authorities confirmed Thursday. The crash occurred in the early morning hours when 18-year-old Elijah Arenas was driving a Tesla Cybertruck. Emergency responders arrived at the scene and transported him to a nearby hospital, where doctors placed him in a medically induced coma to treat his injuries. The vehicle sustained severe damage and was found mangled on the side of a road in a residential Los Angeles neighborhood. Arenas, who had recently committed to play basketball for the University of Southern California, is widely regarded as one of the nation's top high school players. He is ranked as the number 4 overall player and the number 1 shooting guard in the class of 2026. The circumstances surrounding the crash remain under investigation. Authorities have not yet determined the cause of the incident. The Arenas family has not released a public statement. Support from the basketball community has poured in, with teammates, coaches, fans, and USC's basketball program offering prayers and well wishes for Elijah's recovery.
The Creamline Cool Smashers concluded their Asian Volleyball Confederation Champions League run after a straight sets loss to Thailand's Nakhon Ratchasima on Thursday at the Phil Sports Arena. The Thai squad dominated with scores of 15-25, 22-25, and 16-25, advancing to the tournament's next stage. The defeat follows Creamline's earlier heartbreak in the Premier Volleyball League All-Filipino Conference, where they fell to Petrogas in Game 3 of the final. Petrogas secured their first All-Filipino title with a 3-1 victory, ending Creamline's bid for a 5th consecutive championship. Despite the back-to-back setbacks, Creamline head coach Sherwin Meneses expressed pride in his team's performance over a demanding 6-month stretch. Creamline, one of the most decorated teams in PVL history with 10 titles, now shifts focus to rebuilding and strategizing for the next season. The club remains a cornerstone of Philippine volleyball and is expected to bounce back in the future local and international tournaments.
Adolescence, a new drama series released by Netflix, is drawing attention for its portrayal of cyberbullying and its potential psychological impact on teenagers. The series follows the fictional case of a 13-year-old boy accused of killing a classmate following online harassment. The story centers on Jamie, a middle school student who becomes involved in a criminal investigation after the death of his classmate Katie. According to the show's narrative, Katie posted a series of harmful messages targeting Jamie on Instagram. The incident leads to a confrontation that results in Katie's death. Set in the United Kingdom, the series explores issues surrounding adolescent mental health, the effect of social media, and school dynamics. Jamie's character is depicted as struggling with the emotional consequences of sustained cyberbullying, which forms the basis of the plot. Mental health professionals and educators have noted the series' relevance, citing an increase in digital harassment cases among young people. The storyline, while fictional, mirrors real-life discussions around online behavior and youth well-being. Netflix has not released viewership figures or announced whether the show will be renewed.
Actress Camille Prats recently reunited with her Sarah, a Munting Prinsesa co-star Jean Garcia during GMA Network's Denim and Diamonds themed Thanksgiving party, sparking nostalgic memories from the beloved 1995 film. Prats, who played the titular role of Sarah, shared photos of their encounter on Instagram, reflecting on their time filming the movie. Garcia portrayed Miss Minchin, the film's stern antagonist, in the adaptation of Frances Hodgson Burnett's classic novel A Little Princess. Now nearly 3 decades since the film's release, both actresses expressed their fondness for the project that helped shape their careers. Prats described their reunion as a heartwarming and voiced her hope to collaborate with Garcia again in future projects. Followers flooded Pratt's social media posts with comments reminiscing about their childhood memories of the film. Many credited the movie with inspiring their love for local cinema.
As we brace ourselves for the upcoming weather changes, let's dive into what you can expect day by day. Whether you're planning outdoor activities or just preparing for the week, we've got you covered for the most accurate forecast. Stay tuned with us as we take a closer look at the weather patterns that will impact our region. Remember, here at Lawin Weekly News, we bring you the clearest skies to the stormiest forecasts.
Here is your Lawin Weekly News weather forecast in Houston, Texas. On April 27th, Sunday, the highest temperature is 88 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Expect times of sun and clouds with a shower in places. Breezy and warm. On April 28th, Monday, the highest temperature is 86 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Anticipate cloudy and breezy conditions. On April 29th, Tuesday, the highest temperature is 86 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 73 degrees Fahrenheit. The day will be cloudy in the morning, transitioning to a blend of sun and clouds in the afternoon. On April 30th, Wednesday, the highest temperature is 84 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Expect dull and dreary conditions with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, mainly later in the day, breezy. On May 1st, Thursday, the highest temperature is 87 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Anticipate cloudy and warm conditions with a strong thunderstorm in spots. On May 2nd, Friday, the highest temperature is 85 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Expect a couple of morning showers and a thunderstorm, otherwise, mostly cloudy. On May 3rd, Saturday, the highest temperature is 84 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 69 degrees Fahrenheit. The day will be partly sunny with a strong thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon.
So those were the latest stories in Texas this week. I'm Nesca Santina.
And I am MJ Concepcion from Lawin Media Network.
Have a great day.
Lawin Weekly News.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Lawin Weekly News.